practice of the Bhagavad Gita, day 47. And today I have chosen shlok number 1 of the 16th adhyay, of the 16th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti Danam Damascha Yajñascha Svadhyayastapa Arjavam. Shri Bhagavan says, absolute fearlessness, that's one. Perfect purity of mind, constant fixity in the yoga of meditation for the sake of self-realization, charity in its sattvic form, that's 4, control of the senses, worship of God and other deities, as well as of one's elders, including the performance of Agnihotra and other sacred duties. 7, study and teaching of the Vedas and other sacred books, as well as the chanting of God's names and glories. We keep that at 7. Suffering hardships for the discharge of one's sacred obligations. And number 9, uprightness of mind as well as of the body and senses. In this shlok, Bhagwan has enumerated 9 Daivic Gunas that we as sadhaks must develop. Each one of us has within us some Daivic Gunas and some Asuri Gunas. Daivic Gunas are godly tendencies, sattvic tendencies. And Asuri Gunas are demoniac tendencies or tamasic, rajasic tendencies, which are not taking us towards our goal. Daivic Gunas will take us to our spiritual goal. Asuri Gunas will take us away from our spiritual goal. So as sadhaks, this is our duty, that we have to introspect, see whether we have those Daivic Gunas. One is to have them. Second is to practice them, implement them. And if not, then what are the sadhanas that will help us develop these Daivic Gunas? So today are 5 action steps. These 5 action steps will develop all the 9 Daivic Gunas. Let's go with the first Daivic Guna was constant fixity in meditation. That means continuously having a focus in our mind of one's spiritual goal. We can be doing any action in the world. We could be engaged in any activity, but at the back of our mind, that focus must be there. That background focus must be there, that I have to reach this goal, and no matter what obstacles are there, no matter what hardships are there, no matter what relapses and lapses are there, I must always get back on my track to move towards my spiritual goal. And for that to happen, we need to value that goal. We need to value why we need to reach that goal. So what will help me keep that fixity in my mind, value it, and be determined to move towards it? And that is performing one's swadharma. If you keep practicing your swadharma, you will always remain on the track. That's the first one. Then I have grouped together the Daivic Gunas of worship of gods elders, performing puja and chanting. So this all falls under the path of bhakti. Bhakti is such a path, such a road, such a engagement of the self that opens up the heart. And when we open up the heart, it increases our faith in a higher power. And when our faith in the higher power gets pakka, a nishtha gets developed, it helps you to develop humility and therefore decreases your ahankar. Now, what will be the sadhana that will help us down this path? Shravan. Shravan means hearing. But specifically for these Daivic Gunas, we need to hear the kathas, the Purans, the stories that sing the glory of Bhagwan. And this happens always in satsang. So being in satsang, hearing the glories, hearing the stories of Bhagwan will help us believe more in the higher power and less in our own ahankar. The third sadhana or the group of Daivic Gunas is perfect purity of mind, sattvic charity, uprightness and control of mind, body and senses. I have grouped these Daivic Gunas together because it reminds me that the entire spiritual journey that we are on is all about purifying the antakaran. We have collected in our mind, in our mental equipment, mal and vikshep over many lifetimes, because we collect this over many lifetimes. And every lifetime, if we don't do the sadhanas, we just strengthen or increase the mal and the vikshep. So the simplest sadhana for removing the mal and the vikshep is make sattvic choices. And that happens with sama, dhamma, and uparama. In every sphere of our life, we have to be conscious whether we are choosing to do something sattvic, tamasic, or rajasic. And if we are in the rajasic, tamasic group, we need to move towards sattva. The fourth Daivic group, or I kept this separately, is suffering hardships. Now, I know many of you right now thought that if I have to make sattvic choices for everything, it's going to be really tough, because you're going to have to go against the grain of doing something that you have been used to doing rajasically or used to doing tamasically. And it's not going to be comfortable. It's going to be hard. But the end result is liberation. And therefore, it is worth bearing those hardships, because you know that the end result is your highest good. Therefore, developing titiksha is necessary. How? Choosing Shreya over Priya. I know that you have heard all these things again and again, but are we able to put them into our life is the question. And therefore, I have to keep telling you that these same sadhanas are going to lead to your liberation. Liberation means what? Freedom from dukh. That's all, simple words. Fifth, absolute fearlessness, abhayam, study and teaching of the Shastras. When you come to satsang, you are taught the difference between sat and asat. Then, over a period of time, vivek will develop, where you will be able to choose sat over asat. And when you're able to value sat, then vairagya of asat automatically happens if you have valued sat. Therefore, sadhana in this line is again satsang. It's swadhyay. One thing is you attend satsang. Like right now, you are all attending satsang. But that's not enough. Because in satsang, you are just hearing. It's passive. It will get you nowhere. So, satsang, shravan, then go back home and do manan, contemplate on what you have heard, write down what applies to you, make it your own truth, practice it, experiment with it, and then nididhyasan, you'll be able to apply it in your meditation practice. So that is, now we have gone into the Gyan Yog Marg. This takes care of 9 Daivic Gunas, but they are not enough, because in the next shlok, Bhagwan will give you 11 more Daivic Gunas to develop. And that we will do tomorrow.